It's finally happening. EastEnders is officially welcoming back Zoe Slater, 2 months after she briefly reappeared on our screens. Fans were treated to one of the most exciting comebacks in years back in June when Michelle Ryan reprised her role as Zoe. Her return aired as part of a big surprise in Ben Wadey's first episode as executive producer and saw a troubled Zoe share tense reunions with Stacey and Alfie in a location away from Walford. Though brief at the time, Zoe is about to make a permanent comeback to the square, with fans eagerly waiting to see what her reconciliation with estranged mother Kat Moon will look like next week. There's even more at stake too. During Zoe's 3-episode stint earlier in the summer, it became clear she is hiding a dark secret about her time away, a catalyst for bigger stories to come. But these are not the only questions we have regarding her return. Another huge talking point is whether EastEnders is finally going to address that twist regarding the twin brother she has, or possibly doesn't have. It's really not clear. Back in 2015, EastEnders made the bold decision to retcon one of their biggest ever stories when Kat visited the nunnery she'd given birth in. The episode delved further into Kat's tragic backstory and how this had impacted her adult life. However, the biggest shock of all came when the viewers were led into the mother of all secrets. Kat had actually birthed a baby boy alongside Zoe all those years ago. Sister Ruth, played by June Whitfield, had remembered Kat delivering twins as a teenager and found evidence of this in her records. She opted not to share this with an oblivious Kat at the time, but her conscience eventually got the better of her a few months later. Whatever your thoughts are on the controversial twist, it led to some excellent television when Kat eventually did discover the truth in explosive scenes that ultimately led to the demise of her dad Charlie. During a special Slater-focused week, which also saw Stacey's postpartum psychosis story reach a peak, Kat was visited by Sister Ruth, and the whole shocking truth came to light. Kat was furious with both Big Mo, who had played a role in the cover-up, and Charlie, who hadn't, but her life was turned upside down all over again when Charlie had a heart attack amid all the arguing and died. After the Charlie tragedy, Kat made the decision to head to Ireland to find her long-lost son, Luke, and this was the premise for EastEnders spin-off Kat and Alfie, Redwater, which had been announced the year before. Now, we are sorry to have to bring up Redwater, some things are better left in the past. But viewers who watched the 6-part series will know that Kat did end up finding Luke and found herself in deadly danger as a result. That's because one of the first major secrets to be revealed in the series was that Luke, aka Dermot, was a dangerous, murdering priest, who was, unsurprisingly, not to be trusted. But where is Luke now? Does Kat know? Does she care? And how exactly did she escape that worrying sea situation with him? So many questions, so few answers. But we are hoping that after 8 years, Zoe's return might finally change some of this. Frustratingly, Redwater has hardly been mentioned in the main show since it aired, and the small matter of Kat's killer son hasn't been referenced at all. When Kat returned to EastEnders in 2018, it quickly became clear that the drama of Redwater and Luke were being swept under the rug, which is where they have remained ever since. Understandably, this has become a topic of discussion amongst fans in the years that have followed. Some viewers are still waiting for Kat to acknowledge the mysterious twin story, while others think the whole saga should simply be forgotten altogether. Redwater was, after all, a different show, meaning it could all be retconned and written off completely as non-canon, never to be mentioned again. And that might have worked if the story hadn't initially been set up in the main show. But it was. Regardless of whether you watched the spin-off, Kat's discovery about Luke, and the drama that followed, including Charlie's death, all played out in EastEnders itself. While it is not unheard of for stories to be scrapped, it is unusual, especially one of this magnitude. Wadey has already confirmed that Zoe's years away from Walford will be explored when she returns. Zoe Slater's return to EastEnders, secrets, family feuds, and the storylines that could change Walford forever. It's official. Zoe Slater is back in EastEnders. For longtime viewers, this marks not just the return of a beloved character but also the reopening of one of the most dramatic chapters in the soap's history. After a brief reappearance earlier this summer, Michelle Ryan is once again stepping into Zoe's shoes, this time on a permanent basis. And if history is anything to go by, the square had better brace itself. Fans are buzzing with excitement, but Zoe's comeback doesn't just promise emotional reunions and nostalgia. It carries the potential to unravel years of unresolved family drama, lingering secrets, and one of the most controversial twists the soap has ever dared to tell. Zoe Slater, a character steeped in EastEnders history. Zoe first arrived in Albert Square in 2000 alongside the iconic Slater clan, Kat, Little Mo, Lynn, and Big Mo. The Slaters, led by matriarch Mo Harris, brought a new burst of energy to the soap, complete with fiery arguments, big secrets, and emotional storylines. Zoe was young, feisty, and stubbornly independent, but behind her bravado lay deep insecurities. The defining moment of her early years came with the shocking revelation that Kat was not her sister, but her mother, a bombshell that became one of EastEnders' most memorable episodes, cementing Kat Slater as a soap legend. The fallout from that revelation shaped Zoe's life. Her relationship with Kat was complicated, swinging between love and resentment. She longed for stability but often found herself entangled in destructive relationships and questionable choices. Perhaps her most infamous storyline was her involvement with Den Watts, manipulated into helping him fake his death, only to later play a part in his real murder. When Zoe left Walford in 2005, heading for Ibiza in search of a new start, it was a messy but fitting end for a character whose life had been anything but simple. For nearly 2 decades, her absence has loomed large over Kat and Stacey's storylines, making her 2025 return all the more significant. Michelle Ryan's brief return in June, a taste of what's to come. Earlier this year, fans were treated to an unexpected surprise. In June, Zoe appeared in a short 3-episode stint, part of new executive producer Ben Wade's first episodes. Her scenes showed tense reunions with Alfie and Stacey, away from the square. Though brief, the episodes confirmed that Zoe is troubled and hiding something dark from her years away. For many viewers, it felt like a teaser, a soft reintroduction designed to spark questions and reignite interest. The gamble paid off. Twitter, X lit up with excitement, hashtags trended, and fans began speculating wildly about what Zoe's secret might be. Now, 2 months later, she's heading back to Walford properly, and all eyes are on how her fractured relationship with Kat will play out. Kat and Zoe. The mother-daughter rift that never healed. Kat and Zoe's relationship remains one of the most powerful mother-daughter dynamics in soap history. Defined by betrayal, secrecy, and fierce love, it has given EastEnders some of its most emotional scenes. Their bond was born out of trauma. Kat gave birth to Zoe at 13 after being abused by her uncle Harry. For years, Kat raised Zoe as her sister, only for the truth to explode in dramatic fashion. The revelation damaged Zoe deeply, leaving her questioning her identity and her place in the Slater family. Over the years, they've shared moments of reconciliation, but the wounds have never fully healed. Kat's return to the square in 2010 reignited the Slater dynasty, but Zoe's absence was always felt. Now, bringing her back allows the show to finally confront decades of unresolved emotion. How will Kat react to seeing her estranged daughter after so long? Will Zoe's hidden secret drive them further apart, or finally bring them closer? The return of old ghosts, the forgotten twin storyline. Of course, no discussion of Zoe's return would be complete without addressing the elephant in the room, Kat's long-lost son. Back in 2015, EastEnders dropped a retcon that stunned viewers. During a nunnery storyline, it was revealed that Kat had actually given birth to twins, Zoe, and an unknown baby boy. The revelation came courtesy of sister Ruth, who confessed she had withheld the truth for years. The fallout was explosive. Kat's world collapsed, Charlie Slater tragically died, and Kat set off to Ireland to find her son, a storyline that later formed the basis for the spin-off series Kat and Alfie, Redwater. Unfortunately, Redwater proved divisive. The 6-part drama introduced Luke, renamed Dermot, a murderous priest who turned out to be Kat's son. The storyline spiraled into gothic chaos, culminating in Kat and Alfie being left for dead in the sea. Many viewers dismissed it as over the top and out of step with EastEnders' tone. When Kat returned to the main show in 2018, the events of Redwater were quietly brushed aside, never to be mentioned again. But fans have never forgotten. Questions linger. Is Luke alive? Does Kat even care? And what does Zoe know about her supposed twin brother? Ben Wade's new era, why Zoe's return matters. Executive producer Ben Wade has already promised to explore Zoe's years away, hinting that her return will be central to his vision for EastEnders. Bringing back Zoe is a clever move. She's a character with history, emotional depth, and strong ties to Kat and Stacey, all of which ensures her return will create ripples across multiple storylines. It also allows the soap to address unresolved questions like the twin twist, giving fans the closure, or chaos, they've been waiting for. Wade's early episodes have been praised for bold choices and character-driven drama. By reintroducing Zoe, he's signaling that he isn't afraid to revisit the past while steering the show toward a fresh future. The dark secret. What is Zoe hiding? Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of Zoe's comeback is the mysterious secret she's keeping. During her brief June stint, hints were dropped about her troubled life away from Walford. Whatever happened, it clearly weighs heavily on her. Speculation ranges from an abusive relationship to financial troubles, or even involvement in something criminal. Some fans wonder whether it could connect back to the Redwater storyline, tying Zoe to Luke in unexpected ways. Others think it may be something entirely new, a fresh storyline that will test both Zoe and Kat in unforeseen ways. Whatever the truth, the soap has made it clear that Zoe's return is not about nostalgia alone. It's about driving forward big, dramatic storylines that will dominate the square in the months ahead. Fan reactions. Nostalgia meets suspicion. The announcement of Zoe's permanent return has reignited excitement in the fanbase. Social media is filled with nostalgic clips of her early years, especially the famous, "You ain't my mother. Yes I am," scene with Kat. But fans are also wary. Many remember Redwater and fear the twin storyline will either be ignored again or retconned into further confusion. Some want closure. Others think it's best left forgotten. On forums, one fan wrote, "Zoe's return is exciting, but if they don't address the Luke storyline, it's a missed opportunity." Another argued, "Please, just let's move on from Redwater. Zoe's return should be about Kat and the Slaters, not a spin-off that most people hated." The mixed reactions underline just how high the stakes are for the show. Done right, Zoe's return could be iconic. Mishandled, it could reopen old wounds. What Zoe's return means for the Slaters. Zoe's comeback won't just affect Kat. Stacy, Jean, Big Mo, and Tommy will all have to adjust to her presence. For Stacy, Zoe's return brings back memories of her own struggles with family secrets and trauma. Their brief reunion in June showed how much history lies between them, and there's potential for a strong bond if the show leans into their shared resilience. For Kat, the stakes couldn't be higher. Her life has changed dramatically since Zoe left, marriages, betrayals, and countless crises. Reconnecting with her daughter may force Kat to confront painful parts of her past, while also offering the chance for healing. And for the square as a whole, Zoe's arrival adds another fiery Slater to the mix. The family has always thrived on drama, humor, and heart. With Zoe back, the Slaters are once again at the center of EastEnders.